and begin. Om. Breathe. Heart breath. Keep a little bit more heart breath, deeper. And be sure to have the exhale coming out from our heart. That's very important. Okay, now this is something that we did another time with Baba Siri Chand. He said, first of all, to listen to Baba Siri Chand to tell you what question you want for your own self. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Good. Okay. And we'll do that all around. Excuse me. And after that, we're going to have meditation again to listen about each of our answers from Baba Siri Chand, and then we'll go around there again. Okay, so this will be for each of your questions. Start with that. And do you all understand that? Because we're going to talk later for the answers. Okay.
I think I need more information. What was the basic?
I think we're going to do heart breath and listen to Baba for a short while now to listen for our questions, for what's our question for Baba Siri Chand. And then we'll share what is our question, and then we'll do another round of heart breath to hear the answers. Is that right, Siri Gian?
Yes.
Okay.
Katie, is that right? Do you hear that?
I do. Yes.
Okay, good. And I'm so glad there's Salt City and Joe Gian Davy. So
Yeah.
I'm glad. Okay, so now we're going to have only 2 minutes. We're listening for your own question from Baba Siri Chand. What the question is, when that is for you, and begin. Okay, here we go. So, Joe Gian Devi, what is your question from Baba Siri Chand?
Mine was, can you or do you trust in the Lord with all your heart and all your soul?
And say, be very clear for me, because I don't hear it. Okay?
Let me see if I can go
Do it
louder.
again, please.
Okay. Do you trust in the Lord with all of your heart and all of your soul?
Is that a question?
Yeah, that was the question. Is either can you or do you?
Say it again.
Do you trust in the Lord with all of your heart and all of your soul?
Yes. Good. Thank you, dear.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Sun City, what is your question?
Well, the question is, how do I serve the Guru best going forward? What should I be doing? In my work, I've retired from a job that I did for a long time. And it's a little hard to know what to do because I have been in very intensive treatment for trauma, EMDR, and it's really working, but it requires a lot of processing, and it's got to be something where the schedule is flexible. And I got them. Okay, pass. That's it.
Great. Okay. Thank you so much.
But
Okay. Sahej.
My question is also kind about trust. The first part of it is what is my protection? How do I, what is my protection to keep me and my loved ones safe? And how do I continue to trust?
Okay. You have them. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Thank you. Harimandir.
The question was, what is my responsibility in these times?
Okay. Gian does Sprem.
Satnam.
That now.
So from he to I is, will you highlight and be able to release in any fashion, or will I highlight in any fashion of life in my role as a servant of peace and as a healer? So yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
can you say it again?
Will you highlight any fashion of life in the role as a servant of peace and a healer, which I have practiced for, which I'm coming forward with in a more public manner? So yeah.
Okay. Good deal. Okay, Aagia Pal.
Yeah, so I asked how I can strengthen my connection with soul to break open my heart as wide as possible, to be as loving, um, as loving as I can to as many people as I can.
On it. Thank you so much. Okay, Chapa Saraswati.
My question is kind of unusual for me, especially for me, but I checked in twice with it. So it's because it's also on my mind. It's about the boy who shot the insurance CEO, and it just feels like a big bit of theater to me, or a lot of it does. And I'm asking Baba to show me under behind the curtain a little bit, and also what is my role in this big in the big play of it. And also I feel tangentially about what's my role with um, as being a consumer of health insurance that all of these things are coming out with. So that's my questions.
Okay. Now, excuse me, I'm getting the last part. Say it again.
And what's my role with consuming health insurance? Because I I was abused by that dentist when I was a kid, and I really have almost not gone to the doctor since then. Like, so very, very little do I go to the doctor unless there is something really wrong with me. I don't go to the doctor. And so I haven't had these, it feels like the insurance and the medical people are a big, I don't know what. It feels like a, a big headache, a big conspiracy, a big scam to get everybody, buying their product. I don't know. And what's my role in it? Sorry, I don't want to ramble about this.
Okay.
I will listen to Baba Siri Chand about my message.
Okay. Got it. Okay. So now Baba Siri Chand is you're going to listen to Baba Siri Chand for your answers. Okay? And 3 minutes. Inhale and exhale. And continue heart breath when you're listening for each other. Okay, Gian Devi, here's your answer from Baba Siri Chand. Just say what your question is, and then tell us what the answer is.
My question is, do you trust in the Lord with all of your heart and all of your soul? I have already trusted in your guidance. Practice in a broader spectrum. What does that mean? We had a two-way conversation.
Yeah.
He says, go outside of your norm, see a higher self, and share that healing power. I will understand with more of my heart and soul when the time comes. I imagine when I hear that, I think I will live through it as I have up to this point, have learned to accept sailing challenges, flight challenges.
You did what? Say it again.
I said my understanding to this response is I lived through it. I will be given the answers. I'll be given the protection I trusted then and I can trust now, I hope. That's what I'm going for. But I think that last thing is I will understand more through my heart and my soul when the time comes.
Good.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Great.
It is comforting to me. I find that a pretty direct answer. It doesn't feel scary to me. It feels like we're doing the work. I guess we'll just jump higher. There'll be when it says go outside your norm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm still asking them what I don't know if I have to live through that to know what that norm is. To go outside of it must mean higher frequency. I don't know. I guess I'll know when I get there.
Okay. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you, dear.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Sun City. And what was your, first of all, say your question and then listen to Baba Siri Chand's answer. Go ahead.
Yes. So my question was, I'm in a big transition point in my life. I've made the move and I'm settled in from that. But I retired from a 40-year career. And I can't do that anymore. I can do it in a different form, but I'm really glad I retired.
Mhm.
So Baba Siri Chand did laugh and was like, yes, you're sitting on a hot pot. You're sitting on that burning surface of, you need to get moving, hop off that hot plate. And he said, it's all now about serving and helping raise people's consciousness and opening them to their own soul. And I've been researching this new profession in the state, that the state is trying to deal with the mental health issues, but that are largely behind so much of the drug use, which is, we have a really high overdose situation in the state. So anyway, he just said, all you have to do is walk across the street to Smock, get started there, and do not work more than part-time, teach yoga classes, do a sadhana there, and then have a group. So it's wonderful that the two things will combine, my own addiction history and my own mental health issue. And part of the thing that was really tough the last few months has been doing the kinder, gentler version of electric shock, because I had some really serious traumas and I kept having flashbacks and all this stuff. It was really holding me back. And I had a lot more support before my husband died. He understood the situation and covered a lot of things for me. And my school where I taught was the best disability resources and services, right up there with like Harvard rehabilitation. So I had a lot of support. And so I found new support here. I work at, I do 4 programs at Advocates, and I've learned, because they run these groups, like they run a mindfulness group, have great models, and all this was just channeled to me. It was mostly visual. Oh, remember the mindfulness group you're in? That's really a meditation group. And I also understand how really difficult it is to do these treatments that do work and heal, and they don't rely on killing parts of your brain to get rid of your trauma. They're truly miraculous. And they're free in the state of Massachusetts, compliments of Teddy Kennedy. In these community-based mental health units, which are mandated federally, but Massachusetts was really funded by really great senators and great politicians who actually created that movement. So I have a very clear, I know I'm not making it clear, I'm just trying to be brief so everybody has a turn, but I have very explicit directions, and no, I don't need to what's that thing when you dilly-dally, or, I'm no longer not sure. It's very clear. And what a relief. Thank you. Baba Siri Chand, thank you. Guru Ram Das, thank you. Siri Gian, thank you. All of you. This is such a powerful engine for spiritual growth for me. Really grateful that we're all here. And thank you for this devoted service, Siri Gian and everybody else. Pass. Hope I was clear. You can always ask me questions.
Wonderful. Okay. Thank you, dear.
Sadhguru, thank you.
Okay. Sahej. And first of all, what is your question? And then your answer.
My question is, what is my protection for me and those I love, and how do I continue to trust? And I often have this doubt that I'm going to get the message, and I'm realizing that taps back into a long history of like fearing the magic is going to disappear, what I called the magic when I was younger, which is this soul connection to everything. But what I was shown was my heart rate. My heart was pounding, and it does that sometimes just because of this dysautonomia. It's part of the long COVID thing. And at first, the message was, observe this. Right now, your heart is pounding. It's pounding like I just run 3 blocks. But like, okay, you see your heart is pounding, but you're sitting calmly looking out on a beautiful scene. So the first message is simple discernment, simple observation. And out of that comes some discernment. This pounding heart, it feels like an emergency. It feels like something's wrong. Is there something wrong? No. This thing is happening. You know what it is. And then the next message came. It's like, okay, this is dysautonomia. What does that mean? Well, that means all the automatic functions of my body are no longer functioning automatically. And then I was shown what we understand about the breath and how a lot of people in this culture, anyways, think of the breath as something that's automatic and that you don't control. But I know that I can consciously control it. I can be deliberate about it, and that I can, by my conscious attention to it, I can alter things, even like my heart rate. And so the next piece of the message was, those things that used to be automatic now need to become deliberate. There may be things, processes, day-to-day things that I've just kind of get up and do and don't really think about, but now I need to be deliberate in my actions. I need to put attention on even the simplest, like, quotidian thing. And then I don't know, it just moved me so much. I was just weeping. I don't know why. I've seen this before, but like, then all of a sudden I was shown like the depth of the ocean and how the storm is just at the top. The effects of the storm are just at the top. But if you go down deep, it's like you're not affected by the storm. You're not even aware of the storm. It doesn't affect you. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very strong visual to me, but like underneath, I mean, the ocean isn't still, but it's not, you're not 80 knot winds don't affect you if you're deep in the ocean. And that's what I was shown, is that deep sense of continuity and stillness, I guess, as compared to what seems to be raging on the surface. And that, like, all around in our culture, things appear to be raging on the surface, and that's not the place to put attention. The place to put attention is to go down deep into the deepest knowing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's going to allow me to continue to trust, and to trust that protection is there.
Good.
Sahej,
Mhm.
Sahej,
Yes.
I'm seeing the depth of the ocean as our consciousness. That's the message that I just got. That
Mhm.
when the ocean is raging outside, that we're to really take solace in the depths of our consciousness.
Yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. Because the storm is not there.
And how do you stay that?
Definitely coming back to it comes back to the breath, and being deliberate, being conscious, going, and for me, I have to say, going back to practices that I know that support that,
Mhm.
that remind me.
Good. Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
Yes. Bless you.
Thank
Okay.
you. Beautiful.
Okay. Harimandir. First, what was your question? And then your answer.
Okay. The question was, what is my responsibility? And the answer is fierce hope.
Here's hoping. Here's hope. Is that what you said?
Fierce hope.
Mm-hmm.
I had another, looking back, I can't read it. My eyes are getting wiggly. There are two things. At a Unitarian service a month or two or three ago, the speaker talked about the fire of hope. And I'd always thought of hope as being kind of namby-pamby. Yeah, I have hope. That, what does that do? And if you have a strong faith and all that, I suppose it does amazing things. But I had never looked at it in that way. And so what came out of my mouth just now is fierce hope.
Wonderful. Mm-hmm.
And what Sahej said was really got my attention. Oh dear. Which I had. It related to an experience I had, but that's gone now. But anyway, my job is to give hope and or support hope, give hope, and it's not a small thing. And the idea of the fire of hope or fierce hope is something that needs to be explored and created. I was talking to someone in a grocery store a while back, and I have no idea what we were talking. Whatever we were talking about, the other person said, well, that gives me hope. And I was surprised at his response, because he has been a very grumpy, everything is terrible person in what he had told me before. But that got my attention, because for him to respond that whatever I said gave him hope really shook me, or got my attention. So that's it.
Wonderful. Okay. Thank you, dear. Okay. Gian does first. So what is first? What your question is?
Okay, I have to catch my breath for a second. Thank you. So my question was, will I highlight any fashion of life in the role as a servant of peace and a healer? And what I took of that when I went into my meditation was the type of situation, like and what I was given right away was continue to surrender, and notice, the work that I've been doing, and with my personal life, my physical life, my energetic life, and highlight the traits that I've noticed from my memory. And there's a couple of visuals that came in, and one of them was the circles that we get when we were kids. They were plastic, maybe they were wood at one time, and they were all different colors, and I want to say there were probably like 7 or 8 of them, and they were circles, and the one at the bottom, of course, you could put them on however you wanted to, right? And when you step back from them, they're circles, but when you stack them on top of each other and you step back and you look at them, they represent a triangle, right? So sometimes things look differently. So what I'm being told through Baba Siri Chand and for myself here is to notice my personal traits, my physical traits, my energetic traits, and to highlight them. Like, I have highlight pens that I like to use when I read, and I have a couple of books that I noticed in my pile that I haven't looked at yet. So that's going into that, finding that balance, because I think the further I surrender with this practice and in that breathing, right, of regulating that breath and listening to the clues that come, to continue my writing and speaking with others of my intentions and my plans to come, forward in the community and to teach, Reiki to men and bring sound and vibrational therapy into that. And I do have a support group here that I've met in the last year. And we do a weekly sadhanama for a half an hour every Saturday morning, and we're approaching a year. So staying in that sharing, and rainbow beings and light beings. And it's like how a mountain looks up at the sky. it has this view, right? And if we lay down on the ground, sometimes we can see that how it comes at us physically. And if we notice that in our mind, we can almost become those light beings, right? I can just see light beings and, you know, looking at that part of myself and noticing, the correlation of that between me and my feet and my hands and the chants that I do and receiving. And I think it's important as light workers, that we can notice our practices and because of physical challenges and at our age, as our age increases, that we need to sort of go back on our tools. And our heart is so strong with that. Wow, it's just it's so beautiful to listen to, people. And I just get that feeling of re-energy, and that the cleaning and the protection there is so beautiful. And thank you so much. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you, dear. Okay. Now we have Aagia Pal. And first of all, what is your question? And after that, the answers.
Yeah, this has been amazing to listen to everyone.
Yeah.
I feel my question morphing, but my original question was, how can I strengthen my connection with soul so that I can, to use Harimandir, fiercely open my heart with fierce love, and the response from Baba was, remember, 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 remember. God and you and God are one. So it's not, and my question really is not about how I can strengthen my connection with soul, because I'm already, it's already connected. I'm already in soul. Soul is in me. But it's a practice of remembrance that that this is the truth. And how easy I forget, so it's so putting that in my daily practice of remembrance. And there was some other things I wanted to, but I think that's the heart of it. Yeah, and to remember too that every little thought, every little word I say, every little thought I don't say makes a difference, because we're all like the internet. We're all connected on an internet, and how I in space and time is, energetically, it's irrelevant. I mean, so we are all connected, and so how I how I think and send love, if I send that to myself, I'm actually really sending it to everyone, because we're all one. We're all connected, and in this internet. And so he said, just to keep remembering, given that it's easy for me to try to take things in my own hands, and to say, okay, how can I do this? No, it's letting soul take over, and trusting that that, you know, soul and me and soul are one. And so it takes, and so he said, you know, practice your faith in soul, in the goodness of soul, and let soul, you know, let soul carry out soul's will. It's not your will, not, in other words, not my will, which I can also forget and slip right into very easily. It's you know, it's the will of soul, and then to acquiesce to and agree to this, whatever soul's will is. Yeah, and this whole thing of, I think it was Harimandir talking about hope. At the Unity Church, the couple of weeks ago, the woman who spoke talked about hope as a verb and hope as a noun. And I think what Harimandir is talking about is hope as a noun, staying in the knowing of the love that is here, that is with us, that is among us, that is holding us. It's the glue that holds us together, you know. So that's what I heard from Baba. And yeah, remember. And breathe it, and breathe it, and breathe. I think it was Sahej was saying, you know, the importance of, or somebody, you know, of intentionally using the breath. And I breathe now because I'm reading that book, The Hidden Gospel, and he talks about the Aramaic of Allaha Ruha, Allaha Ruha, which opens the heart, which is a deep way of breathing. And Ruach is the ancient Aramaic word for breath. So so I think that's what all of what Baba shared with me. Thank you for listening.
Isn't that wonderful? Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. Japa Saraswati.
Satnam, thank you, Aagia Pal. That was really wonderful. I had 4 questions. So the first question was about the CEO shooter, and I asked Baba what was behind the curtain. And what the answer I got was that the boy was ready to be a martyr to this cause, and that Baba said to trust my intuition. And the message from last week was to watch the current. So don't necessarily watch the individual players of what's been happening, but watch the currents of energy to understand what's happening. And yeah, my intuition says it's some theatrical things going on. But then my next question was about what's the significance of this? Because it feels significant to me. And the answer I got was about our group consciousness as people in the American society have really been brought together by this issue, that it's a cultural uprising and a groundswell, that people just don't agree on this much. With like within our country, it's hard to find this many people who agree that the health insurance is really fleecing the individual person. And here's what I wrote down is that, that we're calling for responsibility for corporate greed that's hurting people. That's what the message sounds like to me, that this is the first time that I can really remember that even if it's a vigilante is calling for responsibility, and that most of the people seem to agree that corporate greed has to be held responsible. And then what I heard is that we are witnessing history, and that it is, I don't know if that's what it is yet, but it's pointing at a revolution. So the current is pointing at a revolution. So what that meant to me was like that this is part of our consciousness as a people coming together and moving in a completely unexpected direction. Like a week and a half ago, if you'd said all of this would happen, I wouldn't have believed you. So that's what I mean, that it's from an unexpected sweeping direction. And then my next question was, what was my role? What's my role in this? What's my role to play in this? Because it feels kind of creepy to me to be happy about the death of somebody. Like that doesn't feel right. And also, anyway, I don't want to get into the rest of it, but I sort of want to know what's my role. And what Baba said is that my role is as witness, and that he wants me to remain emotionally neutral. So just watching it and observing. And basically, in this way, he said, I'll be able to see the currents flowing, and I'll be able to understand it without getting caught up in the tide or swept away in currents of passion. And my next question was about what's my role in healthcare, because I feel like we don't have, as a people, we don't have a lot of choices as to what we're going to do. And so what I've personally done is not consume healthcare unless I'm really, really messed up. Unless something's really wrong with me, I'm not going to the doctor. And I've been lucky that I haven't had a lot of big problems, but it frightens me for the future, because you never know what can happen, like you like, yeah. So what I heard is that my negative mind is my protective mind, and that I've been protected from healthcare um, for basically my whole life, for almost my whole life. And the times that I have interacted with healthcare, I have to say that it really hasn't been that great for me. Um, but what I heard was that I have a different electronic signature because of it. So there are people who, regularly take meds and stuff. And, I remember being in the East Village back when it was still really, really wild, and seeing people walk down the street on drugs. And I was able to say, oh, that lady's on heroin, that lady's on cocaine, that lady was on, I want to say some sort of, I nailed it. Whatever it was some kind of a pharmaceutical mood stabilizer. And I just looked at her from down the street, and I could see, all of the drugs that she's on. And I feel like so much of our population is on a lot of drugs. And I feel like the girl in the woods, that I'm not taking I'm not taking any of this stuff. But what I heard from Baba is that it's making my electronic signature different from everybody else, and that I always feel like I'm on the outside, like I'm so ruled by my negative mind, my protective mind, in so many ways, that I'm that longing to belong, you guys, I'm always on the outside. Everybody else is on the inside, and I'm on the outside, and I'm doing it with healthcare too. And like I feel both things. Like, wow, I'm so happy not to be to be in the group with everybody else. And I also feel like, wow, everybody else understands something about this system that I just don't. And the message I got from Baba is that he loves me, and that Guru Nanak loves me, and that, you know, all of the guardian angels love me, and that I'm okay how I am being different, and that I don't have to change to go with other people, but it would also affect my life if I choose, you know, to not get some kind of treatment that maybe I might medically need or something like that, that's the choice that I make. And I guess that's the choice that we all have, you know. Yeah, I guess that was my message. It kind of stopped short there, or if we'd spent longer, I would have delved deeper.
Mhm. Well,
So,
good deal.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you, folks. Isn't that amazing that we have whole, what did you call it? A whole tome, Tome?
Mm,
Yes, a whole book of knowledge from everybody, from Baba Siri Chand.
mhm.
Yeah. Thank you all. Because, you know, Soul and Baba Siri Chand are our teachers. We know that.
Mm.
Mhm. So keep up. You know that. Okay. I love you so much, all of you. Is something else wants to say something? Okay,
Can I say something?
sure.
Um, I could hear the song by John Lennon called Starting Over. You know that song by John Lennon?
Oh,
It's called Starting Over, and it's just so beautiful from front to back. It's just like, you know, it brings you through a journey. And I could just hear that today, and it kind of made me giggle a little bit. So I just wanted to add that in for everyone.
okay.
Oh,
Well, that's lovely.
This is Harimandir. The other
Yes,
thing I
dear.
wanted to say was that I have to keep remembering and remembering is to smile.
Oh, there you go.
Have to physically do it. It doesn't matter if there's some reason, but I just remember that I can physically do it, and it changes everything. Lots of things.
There you go. Mhm. Wonderful.
And this is Aagia Pal. I just want to
Yeah.
say that a smile can when someone smiles at me, gives me hope. And also, so I like to smile at people too, because it's a very simple thing to do if we can remember. And also for Japa Saraswati, I totally get what she's talking about as we're moving toward a revolution. Because you know, going through my partner's trying just really quickly, her insurance was discontinued from the state, and so she's been kind of going nuts trying to get a different Medicare plan, and there's Advantage and everything plans and so forth, and her insides have been going upside down, and she's finally found something, but it's all so well, anyway, I think I totally agree with Japa Saraswati that money is really at the heart of a lot of corporations now. And a friend of mine said to me, you know, Aagia Pal, you are as wealthy as the amount of money you don't need. And I, you know, and I've kept that with me, you know, I'm rich because I don't need a lot of money.
Mhm.
And so That's it. I just wanted to respond to you guys.
Mm.
Well,
Good.
that was why Sahej's message about the depths of the ocean, I was really right there in feeling this revolution on the streets and feeling like where's my place of neutrality is really at the depths of the ocean, because I was also at that part of the meditation feeling the the group consciousness of the whole thing, that we're having this um a ground swelling of group consciousness, of awareness to an issue that wasn't, I think everybody might have felt frustrated with the healthcare system, but now everybody's really talking about the fact that the man who was shot took, when he got the company, their denial of claims was in the single digits, like 7 or 9%. And then his claim to fame during his tenure is that he brought their rejections up to almost 30%. And that had consequences in the lives of so many thousands and maybe even millions of people that they insure 29% of the country. That's like a tremendous number of people whose lives are affected by this. And now we are, as a culture, talking about the decisions that one person, the power that one person has to make a series of very, very impactful decisions to so many millions of people. Now, even if it's a vigilante, was holding him to justice. And that's like the first time that I think I've seen that happen in my lifetime. That's part of why I feel like it's so historical.
Mm-hmm.
Can I pop in really quickly?
Please.
I've been seeing this meme, like a little reel that I saw this morning, and as you were talking, I was like, there is discernment out there, like, because my fear when I first was seeing, well, I won't get into that. I saw this little reel where there was this young guy on there, and he was like laughing and really joyous, and he was saying the only CEO that's safe is the CEO of Costco, because when they were sitting in the boardroom and they said, we want to raise the price of the $1.50 hot dog, he said, hell no, and he threw that guy out of the room, or something like really dramatic like that. But what that made me, at first it just seemed comical, but like now my hair is standing up all over my body. The thing is, this is not the French Revolution where everybody's head gets lopped off and it's just unconscious rage. There will be discernment. So is understanding, right? It's not just, yeah. And I think of Costco has always warmed my heart from the first time it came here to our town, where we have the world's smallest Costco. But I was so impressed at the business model and how they have always paid a living wage. They've always, all their employees were always, well insured. And the ratio of, or the difference between the pay of the person at the lowest and the person at the highest is considerably narrower than almost any other. And it's a very successful business. So it's already shown us that that model can work. Not that I'm touting that business specifically, but it's one that's really well known, and it really is functional, and it treats its people decently. So it can work. And we have a working model of it. And what the joy that I got from like recalling this young man is like, he was overjoyed to say, hey, this guy's good. Like, he doesn't have to worry about people taking pot shots at him, because he's always done the right thing. He's always done right by the people. So I don't know why I felt compelled to put that in there, except that it just seems to be like a microcosm of, or is that the right word? Yeah, microcosm whole picture.
Oh, good.
This is
Okay.
Harimandir again. I remembered what Sahej triggered in me. I was leading a national Girl Scout event that we were canoeing the Yukon River and from Alaska to Whitehorse. And at one point, the weather had gotten rough. And I took one girl who was really good at canoeing, and we went over to a camp where there was a person that was very good at reading what is safe on the river. And the river is huge, it's wide. And my idea was to stay close to the shore. I was responsible for all the girls and all the canoes, and that was by happenstance, because the person who was supposed to lead it got injured right early, and so it was on me. But I went and asked, and he said, do not go on the shore, along the shore. It is actually more dangerous on the shore. There are more waves there. Go right into the middle of the river where it's flowing, and you are safer in the middle than close to shore. So it was a leap of faith and trust that, okay, we go into the middle of the river, far away from the shore, where we perceive safety as being. And that was the way to move through. And the other thing was, and Siri, Gian, and I were Girl Scouts together back in the day. But the other thing about the smile isn't for other people that I was talking about. The smile is for me. And
there you go.
When I'm doing meditation or I'm sitting, I need to smile for myself, by myself. That is the big message that I'm getting.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. So, Japa Saraswati, would you lead our song?
Sure thing. May the long-time sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And the
light
within you
guide
your way on. Guide your way on. Guide your way on.
Inhale. God bless you all.
Satnam, everybody. Thank you.
Satnam.
Fearless.
I don't
Fearless.
time, but I just wanted to quickly say something that Harimandir said reminded me of this quote that's attributed to a Hopi elder from Arizona. I don't know if you know it, where it begins, you have been telling the people that this is the 11th hour. Now you must go back and tell the people that this is the hour. I'm getting choked up. I don't want to read I know we're out of time. We're close on time, but there's the segment that Harimandir reminded me of is, he says, there is a river flowing now very fast. It is so great and swift that there are those who will be afraid. They will try to hold on to the shore. They will feel they are being torn apart and will suffer greatly. No, the river has its destination. The elders say we must let go of the shore, push off into the middle of the river, keep our eyes open and our heads above water. And I say, see who is in there with you and celebrate. At this time in history, we are to take nothing personally, least of all ourselves. For the moment that we do, our spiritual growth and journey comes to a halt.
Mm.
The time of the lone wolf is over. Gather yourselves. Banish the word struggle from your attitude and your vocabulary. All that we do now must be done in a sacred manner and in celebration. We are the ones we have been waiting for.
Mm. Beautiful.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we got it. And Sahej,
Yes.
can you put that on Japa Saraswati as
Yeah.
Yes. I'll copy and paste the whole thing because the whole thing is really very beautiful.
Will you
Okay.
text it to me and then I'll put it with the video?
Oh,
Right.
that's wonderful. Yeah.
My thumb is copy and pasting it to you, G.
Okay, thank you.
And if you could just send it to
Okay.
me, text it to me, Japa Saraswati, that'd be
I
great.
will. Everybody will get a copy. Copies
Okay.
for everyone.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Copy masses. This is a real
Love you.
Beautiful.
Bye.
Satnam, everyone.
everyone.
Salam.
Yep.
So